Welcome back to the Voice Weekly Recap. My name is Sean.
And I'm Chris.
This week we have a whole 4 hours of coverage, and I noticed that NBC did something that I really liked this week. Go ahead and ask me what.
What?
Thanks.
No problem.
I noticed that when they went to commercial and throughout the show, they did not constantly pimp the rest of the show. Did you notice that?
Yes.
They did it a few times, but not very much. And I think I realized the difference. The difference is when they need to pad the show because there's not enough footage.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we've complained about them not covering things before, and we've said, like, why have you spent so much time covering the rest of the show when you could have, like, shown us Cassidy's battle or whatever. And this week, there was so much stuff that they had to show that they didn't have the option. They just had to keep showing all of the content that they had shot.
Yeah, the one thing that they could cut down on a little bit was the rehearsal parts, which, big deal.
I noticed one thing they definitely cut down on, and that was Carson. Every time someone would lose the knockout, I think every time he turns to the losing contestant and says, "Is there anything you'd like to say to your coach?" And I noticed that sometimes he didn't. And I don't think he actually didn't. I think they just cut it out.
Yeah, I thought that's what they did too.
Because why would he just ignore that?
Right.
He's like, okay, this contestant doesn't get to talk to their coach. Yeah.
Just go hug him and leave.
Those contestants go home and they're like, well, CeeLo was really nice, but Carson was an a-hole. So anyway, this was the brand new knockout rounds, which I'd say not bad overall.
Yeah.
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to look up, and we can check this out when we get to the end. I was curious to see how many of the stolen contestants make it through the knockout rounds. I know some did, and I also know that some did not.
Right. I know just from the top of my head, from thinking about it, I know it's right now I'm at 50-50 between Adam and Blake's team. I don't remember what Christina and CeeLo did.
Okay, we'll have to check it out as we go.
Yeah.
So Monday night, there was a large percentage of the country that was down on Monday night because of the hurricane. So I noticed some recaps online don't even have Monday because they weren't able to see it, which is why NBC is rebroadcasting it on Thursday night. This podcast will be posted before that. So if you're interested in seeing it for yourself before you listen to what the results are, go ahead and check it out. I can't tell you exactly what time it's airing, but check your local listings. Isn't that what they say?
Oh, all the time.
So get out of here if you don't want to know. But otherwise, we're going to recap right now. We started with Team Adam, and the first two contestants were Jocelyn Rivera and Kayla Navarez. I guess he wanted to start it off with a Latina on Latina battle. I don't know. That's the way Adam rolls. And he had Jocelyn was singing Love on Top, which is a Beyonce song. And Kayla was singing Shark in the Water, which is a song by someone I've never heard of named VV Brown.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head on that one. I don't think I recognized it. I did notice when I looked it up, and I'm looking at it now, the song was re-recorded in Simlish language and featured in The Sims 3 Ambitions.
Oh, wow.
Which I have. And that means I could turn on that. The reason I don't turn on the music in The Sims is because it usually removes my ability to monetize that video, unfortunately, because it's like copyrighted music by VV Brown. So I've never heard this because I never turn on the music in the game because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But that's really funny.
Yeah.
I should check that out sometime. So this was one of the battles that I was not very invested in. I was like, oh, starting off the knockout rounds with something I don't really care about, but that's fine. It was a good battle. They sang well, but I just wasn't crazy about either one of these contestants, really.
Yeah, I thought Jocelyn was I felt like it was bland when I was listening to her, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I heard Kayla's, I was like, I like the way she sound. I thought she was a little bit better than Jocelyn. Obviously I was wrong.
Well, you weren't wrong necessarily.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right.
You did not agree with Adam.
Yeah, I did not agree with Adam's decision, and he picked Jocelyn. I'm kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That was my feeling. Like, I was favor. I don't remember who I was favoring, but when he picked the end, I was like, okay, moving on.
Yeah. Next, please.
So Jocelyn went through, and the knockout rounds. This is no more saves. This is kill or be killed, and it's like the Hunger Games, I guess. And Kayla went home, dead.
Yep. Bye.
No, it's not that much like the Hunger Games. Our second battle was Joe Kirkland and Brian Keith. Joe Kirkland sang the first Taylor Swift song of the night, Mean. And Brian Keith pulled out the amazing Bryan Adams ballad, Everything I Do It For You.
For Joe, I thought he had really good stage presence.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the high note he hit when it kicked in. It was great. It had a great tempo. The crowd got into it. I really enjoyed his performance. And then Brian came on. And I was like, wow, this is a really good performance too. And I thought he was just a little bit better than Joe.
Yeah. I really liked, despite not really being that crazy about Taylor Swift, I really did like what Joe did with the song. It made me think of like maybe if like a pop punk band had covered that song. And again, same as you, when Brian came out, I was like, this is just such a good song. And when you can sing it well, it just sounds so good.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
And Adam said to him in the rehearsals something like, this is one of the most successful songs of all time. And Alicia looked at me like, what? And I looked it up, and he wasn't kidding. It charted in the UK. It was #1 for 16 weeks. That is the longest in British chart history.
Wow.
Like more than the Beatles or something.
That's crazy.
So this is a hugely successful single. It sold 8 million copies. And Brian just really, he took advantage of the familiarity of that song, but he still managed to make it his own, and he pulled out the win.
Yeah, I'm glad he won that one. I really liked his performance a lot, especially the end. The end just, I was like, done. Yes.
Yeah, he sold you.
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him make it to live voting next week. The next battle was Amanda Brown, who was one of Adam's saves. Yeah, by the way, were either of the first two saves? Who was Adam's other save? Jocelyn. It was Jocelyn, and she won.
Oh yeah, that was the first two that they did.
Yeah, Jocelyn won, so his first save won. And then it was Amanda Brown. She sang a song called Paris Ooh La La by Grace Potter. And Michelle Brooks Thompson, who sang Jennifer Hudson's song Spotlight. And going into this, I wasn't crazy about Amanda Brown when she did the blind audition. And then later I kind of started liking her more. And with this performance, I was like, okay, damn it, I like Amanda Brown. I really do.
Yeah, that's what happened to me too. Because she completely shocked me in the battle rounds. And then she came out with this one. I was like, oh my God.
And I think it's really that growth that has impressed Adam. And Michelle Brooks Thompson is great, and she sounds great, but she sounds the same as she did when she tried out. Like, I don't see any versatility there.
Right.
And unfortunately for her, neither did Adam, and Adam stuck with Amanda Brown.
Yep.
So he's got 2 for 2. He stole 2 people, and he kept both of them, and they're going to live voting.
Yeah, that was really good.
That song I've never heard before, and it was perfect for her.
Yeah, I've heard it like once or twice, I think. I recognized it when it was going on, but I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this long, I had to play for Michelle Brooks Thompson. I had to play catch up today with that because the weather, my local news station decided to cut in. It's like just did on Hurricane Sandy that I'm sitting there going, this is a post-tropical depression now. Why are you cutting into my television?
Yeah.
I was quite angry. And they did that to me 2 more times during this show. So I was not a happy camper.
Yeah, you and I were both in areas that weren't really affected by the hurricane. We got rain.
Yeah, I just had my neighbor had a tree kind of blow over, and I had to dodge some tumbleweeds on the way to work, as I called them.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah. Definitely.
I missed one small segment, but it wasn't even a performance. It was just like part of a rehearsal, and then we were right back.
Well, that's not bad.
The fourth battle of Team Adam was between Lauren Allred and Nicole Nelson. Lauren sang "You Know I'm No Good," which is Amy Winehouse. And actually, that might even be the very first Amy Winehouse song I ever heard several years ago. And Nicole Nelson sang "If I Ain't Got You," which is an amazing Alicia Keys song. I love Alicia Keys. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to talk about her on here before. I really love Alicia Keys. I would out of all like the female pop artists in the spectrum, I would go see her in performance probably before just about anyone else.
All right.
I love her piano playing. She's just got so much talent. Can I talk about Alicia Keys some more?
Sure. Go for it.
So anyway, Lauren pretty much channeled Amy Winehouse in the Knockout. When she was rehearsing, Adam pointed out to her, like, Amy had a lot of crap in her life, and she displayed that with her performance. You have to find a way to channel the pain of this song. And I think she did it.
Oh, that was especially because for Lauren Alred, as I'm sure all of you remember, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see her during the blinds.
That's
she
right.
She was one of those 10-second ones. We didn't see her during the battle, except for 10 seconds.
So we're like, who is this girl?
Yeah. And then she comes on today, and what the heck? I was like, where did you come from?
Why haven't we been allowed to see you before?
Yeah, she just was incredible.
And Nicole?
She had a good performance. I didn't like the end as much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what kind of took me away from her. But, I mean, the crowd went crazy for Nicole at the end. And I was like, I still liked Lauren more. And Adam liked Lauren more. So ding, point for me.
Very nice. I didn't realize we were keeping score.
Oh, that's what I do while I'm going through. You should have seen me for part 2.
Okay, well, we'll get there. Yeah, Nicole didn't rise to the occasion, unfortunately, and she went home.
Yeah.
And Team Adam's final battle, I want to keep saying battle, but that's a term that I guess should apply to the battle rounds. Team Adam's final knockout was between Melanie Martinez, who's been one of my favorite contestants consistently. She is the one who sang Toxic by Britney Spears, and she's just got this cute factor, but also something, she's got that X factor that Simon Cowell is seeking, I guess. And Sam James, who has a tree trunk for a neck and pronounces Memphis as Memphis.
Memphis. I did write that down. I was like, my exact quote was, I love this song. I'm walking in Memphis.
It was really funny. Adam pointed that out to Sam, and Sam corrected it. And then on the day, in the knockout battle, see, now I'm doing knockout battle instead. Sam, the first time he said, walking in Memphis, he looked at Adam like, see,
and smiled.
I'm getting it right. I'm getting it right.
Yep.
And I love that song, but for me, this was not really much of a contest because I just so heavily favored Melanie.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sam was bad, and that song was probably a really good choice for him, but didn't work out.
Yeah, I loved Melanie's performance too. I thought it was great the way it picked up. It was kind of slow in the beginning, but I liked how it transitioned. And then the one thing for me with Sam that immediately told me no was the whole time and the whole performance. I was sitting there watching this on my TV yelling, "Open your eyes."
Yeah. He had a weird way of, if you've ever seen Dave Matthews sing, Dave Matthews he looks like he's straining, he squints or closes his eyes entirely. And, that's fine for a certain thing, but this competition, I think you really want to engage the live audience and the audience at home, and doing those kind of facial expressions is probably not the best way to do it.
Yeah, that irritated me because the whole time I'm like, I said it multiple times. I'm like, open your eyes, open your eye, open your, and I was just like, forget it. No, you're just no.
They talk about stage presence and what it means to really own the stage, and I don't think he had it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So that one went to Melanie. By the way, she sang a song called Bulletproof by La Rue, who, again, I don't really know them or that song, but I guess she did a good job. I just favored her constantly. I'm excited to see what kinds of songs she chooses for the live rounds.
Yeah.
I'm also excited to see what America's reaction to her is, because I really like her, but I can acknowledge that she's kind of a strange contestant. So I don't know how popular she will be once everyone is voting.
Right. Yeah. I believe I hear it from my family all the time while they're sitting there talking while I'm trying to watch this, and they all have comments about people.
Right.
My mom's like, "What's with the bow?" I'm like, "What's wrong with the bow in her hair?" It's like, that's your biggest gripe?
It's her
She has, like,
personality.
yeah, she has something for like every contestant.
Like every mom in America does, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, she's telling me, "Oh, this person has a big butt. I don't like the way this person's hair is. I don't like the way this person's this." I'm like, really? Like, I don't need your contribution to the podcast. Thank you.
But you're adding them anyway, so there
But I'm
we
adding
go.
them in it. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. So that was the first hour of Monday night. The second hour was Team CeeLo. And by the way, we should mention these performances I think they were about 60 seconds a piece. They were not long.
Yeah.
And that meant you really had to seal the deal quickly. Like you had to get in, get out, and do a really good job. You didn't have room for like a crescendo of loud high notes or whatever. You had to figure out exactly where it needed to be and get it done as soon as you could, because you only had 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's a real short time to really knock it home and make sure that you get picked.
So the first battle for Team CeeLo, and this one had me pulling my hair out, was between Avery Wilson, who is the 18-year-old. He was from a family of dancers, and he wanted to be a singer, so he's a little bit of both. And Cody, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Bellew?
I think it's Baloo, like the bear.
Baloo. Okay, gotcha. And Avery, I wasn't crazy about, but he was a crowd pleaser. Like, he was obviously a favorite going into this. And Cody was one of my personal favorites. And when he lined these two up, I thought Cody was going to get slaughtered in this battle. I really did.
Yeah, so did I.
And Avery has had very strong performances. I wouldn't have ever thought that he would go down in this, but... So Avery sang a song called Yeah 3 Times, which is a Chris Brown song, one of 2 Chris Brown songs performed in the... I was surprised people were picking Chris Brown just based on kind of public opinion about him. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, definitely. Especially who the other person picked the Chris Brown song for.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That
okay.
was kind of shocking.
And
we'll get there.
Chris Brown also didn't work out for either the people who chose him.
No.
Cody picked the song Jolene, which is a Dolly Parton song. One of my friends who likes country music, when he started singing, texted me and said, "Who is Jolene by?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, I don't know country music, but I know Dolly, and this is a Dolly song. And the reason he said he picked it, because this is a song about a woman scorned by another woman for stealing her man, is because Jack White of the White Stripes and the Raconteurs, and Jack White has performed this song, which I never knew, even despite all of the Jack White that I listened to. And he did this version, and he didn't bother to try and change it at all. Also, I don't know if Cody is gay. Do you think Cody's gay?
I never really thought about it, but now that you bring it up, I don't know.
He's Southern, and there's like this Southern personality type that's kind of like a sweet Southern soul. And I can't tell if he's that or if he's gay or both. He's just such a nice guy. But anyway, I kind of get the impression that he's gay, but I can't tell. And it's not like it really matters. But anyway, right. He sang this Dolly Parton song, and all of a sudden, a competition that I thought was going to be really swung one direction was not. Especially because Avery was not 100%.
Right. Yeah, I think that really hurt him a lot.
What happened there?
I don't know.
And CeeLo acknowledged it. He said that Avery, he maybe got caught up in his dancing or whatever. He seemed way too rushed on the song. And CeeLo decided he wanted to keep Cody around. And I was really happy, but I was still very sad to see Avery go, because I think he had more to give.
Right.
And then CeeLo's killing me again The second battle was between Mackenzie Borg, who was one of my favorite blind auditions. He played pumped up kicks on his guitar. And Daniel Rosa, he was probably the nicest guy in the competition at this point.
Yeah.
He's just a big sweetheart, so nice, and he's got a very distinct flair about him. This was his second go-around at The Voice. He made it through this time, and he made it this far. Mackenzie sang Call Me Maybe, and he decided to do his own personal arrangement of it that is the most different sounding version of that song that I have heard, period. Which is amazing. Yeah. How old is Mackenzie?
I don't remember.
He's like 17 or something.
Yeah, he's young. And for that, especially for this song in particular, because there's a few times in this, especially the second night, where it comes up, I was like, oh, God, I hate this song.
Right.
And
I don't hate it, but it's very overplayed.
Yeah, that killed it for me. I'm like, I got so sick of it. I'm just like, I hate this song. I'm done with this song. It's like, I hear too many times where somebody's like, oh, here's my number, call me maybe. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I get, oh. And I was like, and then the way he did it, I was like, wow, this is great. Like, totally sold me on it.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was incredible. Daniel did Back to December, which is our second Taylor Swift song of the competition, of the knockout rounds. And he did fine. Like, if these two had been battling some of CeeLo's other contestants, I would have easily picked both of them. But unfortunately, they weren't.
Yeah.
So someone had to go, and luckily for me, because I really do like Mackenzie more, CeeLo picked Mackenzie. But I was very torn to see Daniel go.
Yeah, especially because you saw how well he progressed from where he came from, especially even just last season. Like, he's not who he was a year ago. And it was such a good change.
His confidence, that's what it was.
Yeah, and I felt bad that he had to go because he improved a lot.
Well, hopefully someone sees his potential out in the world and picks him up and gives him a record deal or something. Get on YouTube, man. Get 1 million video hits. That'll get you somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
The third competition was between Teresa Griffin and Trevin Hunt. This was a particularly touching battle because these two have seemingly bonded off screen. Teresa's a very mothering type, and Trevin's very young. And it seems like they took on this real like mentor-mentee kind of relationship, and it was much harder on him, obviously, than it was for her to do this battle. But they had to do it. That's the way the game works.
Yep.
So Teresa sang Saving All My Love for You, which, is that a Mariah song?
Oh, Whitney Houston.
Whitney. I was close. One of those divas. And Trevin sang probably one of the most well-known Phil Collins songs, even if it's his versions are not the ones that you know, Against All Odds, which is a Mariah Carey. That's a song that Mariah Carey is known for singing. And, geez, this was a great battle.
Yeah, this was really good.
I favored Trevin. I have really favored Trevin throughout the battle. His voice just does this magical. I think I've said Luther Vandross before, and I'll say it again. Mm-hmm. Luther Vandross. And he's so young.
Oh, yeah. I favored Trevin through this, too, and I was really glad to see him win. But, I mean, Teresa did such a good job, too. And you could really feel it for both of them with the song. But I knew who CeeLo was going to pick at the end.
I had a very strong feeling.
Yeah, especially because I'm looking at this and we're watching. I was paying to CeeLo after Trevin finished. Like, CeeLo was crying.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, done. Hello.
That song will really move you if it's done right.
Yeah, and it was incredible.
If you're interested, look up Against All Odds on Wikipedia and read about it, because it was written by Phil Collins about his first wife who left him. Like, it's not just a fake emotion. It's real. Wow. And as soon as Trevin was announced as the winner, he just was a mess, because he didn't obviously wanted to win, but he didn't want to win by beating Teresa,
Right.
That was really hard for him. But the coaches really value one of the things they look for is how much they can help the contestant. And I don't think CeeLo thought he could help Teresa very much.
Yeah.
But Trevin has a lot of potential and a lot of room to grow and a lot of places to go. And that's what he saw, and that's what he went with. And I'm checking now. Teresa was one of the steals for Team CeeLo. So that's his steal that went home. The other one is Caitlin Michelle. And is she next? No, she's in 2. We'll talk about her in a moment. The next battle is between Michael Wastman and Nicholas David, which as soon as these two came up, I was like, not that I don't like these guys, but why could they not have gone up against the 2 earlier battles and both of them gone home instead of Avery and Daniel?
Right. Yeah,
that hurt.
Yeah, that hurt.
It's not like I feel malice towards them, but I think they're weaker contestants.
Right.
So Michael sang "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," the Elton John classic, and Nick sang "Put Your Records On," which is a song by British powerhouse, wait for it, Corinne Bailey Rae. That was her first big hit.
Sure.
I hear that one at work a lot. Ugh.
Oh, okay. See, I'd never heard the song before, so I was like, I knew the Elton John one, but I didn't. And so I was kind of like, for this battle to begin with, and then after I was like,
Yeah.
But
I love Nicholas's voice. I'm not crazy about him in the competition, but when he sings, I'm like, where does that voice come from?
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's definitely like impressive how he's got that. And then you listen to him talk, you're like, wow, like. And that happened with somebody else too. I forget who it was now that was like that. Where I actually heard her talk, and I was like, it was one of the females. I heard her talk. I was like, you do not sound like that when you sing.
It was probably one of the younger ones. They're always surprising.
Yeah.
So CeeLo agreed with me. Nicholas just has a crazy, awesome voice, and he kicked Michael out of the competition.
Yep.
The last battle is between the stolen Caitlin Michelle and Diego Val, who I think he's from Peru. English is not his first language. Sometimes when he talks, I can't figure out what he's saying. He speaks with a very strong accent. So Caitlin sang "Bring Me to Life." She was the one who CeeLo called his dark princess. Come to me, my dark princess.
And she chose a dark song, and it was...
She went with an Amy Lee sound, and she sang it the way that Amy Lee sounds, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Diego Val sang "Are You Gonna Go My Way" by Lenny Kravitz, which I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I've done a drum cover of that. That's the first one tonight that I think I did.
I think so. I'll have to look now.
I seem to remember that. And I thought Caitlin did a good job. I thought something that struck me as really strange was that song is kind of a duet. It's got a male lead as well. And to make up for that, they sped it up so that her lines were closer together and the guy's parts were just kind of in the background. And unless you were really listening for them, you might not have even noticed that they were happening.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I even noticed it.
And Diego sang "Are You Gonna Go My Way" with so much vim and vigor. Like, wow, that was kind of awesome. That really surprised me.
Yeah.
And I think just based on that, CeeLo had to go with Diego.
Yeah, I think that's what happened too with it.
I didn't really have a problem with that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Caitlin to win, but, you know.
I did like Caitlin, but I think in this particular battle, CeeLo made the correct decision.
Right, absolutely.
So that ends up CeeLo, who's always talking about how beautiful his contestants are and everything. He now has a team full of dudes, as he put it.
Yep.
And Adam's like, you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
He kicked out the only 3 girls that he had on his team.
Man, I don't know what he was thinking.
That's funny. So then we get to Team Christina. That was on Tuesday night. And her first battle was between Devin DeLaura and Laura Vivas. And Devin sang "I Have Nothing," which now, was that a Mariah song?
Whitney Houston.
Damn it. Why can't I remember which one is which?
See, that's why I write that down when they say it.
I just rely on Wikipedia giving me the answers to everything. I store my brain on Wikipedia, basically. And Laura sang "I Need to Know," which is a Mark Anthony song. I got that one.
Yay!
Exactly. This was another one that my heart was just really not in it. Both nights, the leading battle, I was like, meh, don't really care.
Yeah, but when I was listening to it, Devin did great in rehearsals, and then you could hear some issues in her voice during the song, but man, she nailed some of those high parts and just absolutely blew me away with her performance. I was like, yes, I don't care what the other person does. And then Laura sang, I need to know. And
she really changed that song to really like showcase herself, but still, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it was the half Spanish thing again. I was like, well, it was kind of different, but I don't know.
Yeah, you get half a point for creativity, but that's it.
Right.
So it was not enough to win over Christina, who is probably pretty hard to impress. And she went with Devin. Was Devin a steal?
Scrolling.
Alessandra was one of her steals, and I forget who the other one was. Oh, it was Siobhan from Team CeeLo. That's right.
Okay.
So both these two were her original blind audition picks.
I just noticed something now on the wiki. They completely changed the table format for the battles. That's why I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't know who did that, but someone went in and adjusted the whole thing.
Yeah, that's kind of depressing.
I really wish that whoever was doing this was listening to us so that they could hear us talk about their work.
Yeah.
Because each week we end up mentioning it. I don't know if we're fans of everything they do, but it's nice that they're doing it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Unless it's not one person and it's just the Wikipedia consensus. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm in the page. Well, see, now that he edited it, technically what I did is still there, but just different now.
Just different. It's been consolidated and condensed.
Yep.
The second battle for Team Xtina was between Adriana Louise, who I've definitely liked all the way since the blinds. I've really liked her. And Celica Westbrook, who I also liked since the blinds. She's the one who I thought might be 30 years old, and she's like 15 or 16.
Right.
And again, she still looks like she's in her 20s. I don't know. She could get into any bar, like, with no questions asked. She'll appreciate that when she's in high school. I guess she is in high school. I shouldn't downplay her age too much. Adriana sang Already Gone, which is a Kelly Clarkson song, which I didn't even know. I've heard that song many times, and I don't think I knew it was a Kelly Clarkson song.
Oh, wow. I actually knew that, so that's impressive, because usually I don't know who sings these songs.
Very nice. And Celica sang the second Justin Bieber song, Never Say Never. Did Justin Bieber already go?
This is the first one.
Okay, there was a second one. One of two.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just going to throw it out there now. I don't like Justin Bieber. I don't like his music. So when they said the song title, I was like, I hate this song. I'm done.
Really, the only song I think I even know is Baby. I don't know if I know any songs. I
think as soon as they just say, oh, it's by Justin Bieber, like, forget it. No.
Yeah, I just don't know anything about him. I don't way out of my... So anyway, I think that I've probably favored Adriana going into this. I did like Celica, but I've been a bigger fan of Adriana along the way, and she picked Kelly Clarkson. And I think I've mentioned this before. I like Kelly Clarkson.
Right.
So I favored her, and the battle did end up going her way.
Yeah, I was really happy when she picked Adriana.
I think she'll probably be one of the ones that is a crowd favorite once we get to voting here. I think people will probably really like her.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
The third battle was between Alessandra Guercio. I noticed that whenever Carson says her name, he tries to say it with as much of an accent as he can. I noticed he does that for a couple people. I think that's kind of funny. And Des Duran. She sang Take a Bow, which I'm forgetting now. Who was that by? Is that Rihanna? Is Take a Bow by Rihanna?
Yes.
She doesn't know.
I do. It's Rihanna.
I like going to my outside source.
Your consult.
Right. And Des sang Stuck on You. You got that one in your notes?
Lionel Richie.
Very nice. You and Alicia said it at the same time.
Yes. Only she didn't have to cheat. I did.
And I think that I would have thought Alessandra would have this one.
Oh, absolutely. And then she kind of did a half decent performance. I don't really know how I cared about it. One.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I think you're gonna lose now.
Maybe she felt overconfident.
Yeah, maybe.
And Dez pulled out that smile that he has and his best Lionel Richie, and he won over Christina.
And all the girls in the audience.
And all the girls. I like that guy. He's fun. He seems very nice. He seems genuine. He seems nice and real.
Yeah, and he's the luckiest guy in the world right now with the team he's on.
Right. So the next battle was between Siobhan, who was the Lady Gaga backup singer, and Deborah. I think this is the only battle that took place between single named people.
Yes, it was.
I noticed that when it was announced. I was like,
yeah, me too.
Funny. And Siobhan was stolen from Team CeeLo, and I really liked her. This was kind of like the Avery Cody Mackenzie Daniel battles where I didn't really want to see either of these people go.
Right. Yeah, I felt the same way.
I wanted them to have the opportunity to get voted on by the public, and now we don't get to know how they would have fared in the public eye.
Yep.
Siobhan sang the song Dancing with Myself, Billy Idol, and Deborah sang You Found Me by The Fray. And this is one of the battles that I think song choice might have had a big part of the result.
Yeah, I thought like Siobhan did a really good job with hers, but man, like Deborah sold me on that. And I wasn't a huge fan in the beginning, but after this one I was like, now I know why Sean likes her.
I think even now Deborah is my favorite person in the competition.
I totally see why.
Her, Cody, Melanie, maybe Trevin. Like, I should pick one from each team and like figure out who my favorites are across the board.
I like that idea.
But Deborah, just every time she talks about like her intentions, I'm like, I just love her personality. And then when she sings, I'm like, I love her voice. Like, I just like her whole package. I just like everything about her.
Yeah, she really impressed me for this one too. And I was just like, yes, wow, that was an awesome performance, and she did so well. And I was like, I really like how you did this. All right.
I thought it was funny. Christina told Siobhan in rehearsal that she should swallow the mic. I don't know which part of the song she was talking about. But she was like, they really need to hear that part. Swallow that mic. And then when Deborah was singing, I was like, Deborah's mouth is big enough she could swallow the mic. So yeah, she just nailed this, and I wish both of them could have gone on, but it went with Deborah, and I was very happy that it did. I got really nervous all of a sudden. I was like, I think Deborah was better, but I don't know what Christina's gonna do.
Yep. Don't worry. I had that issue later.
Yeah, I know. I already know what you're talking about. So yeah. I was very happy to see Deborah go on. I'm so excited for live voting for her.
Oh, yeah.
The final battle for Team Xtina was between Aquil and Sylvia Yacoub. Aquil sang Grenade by Bruno Mars, and Sylvia picked Christina's own song, Fighter, which Alicia reminded me was performed by the teams and coaches last season.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite Christina song. That's an awesome power ballad kind of song. Power ballad? No, it's an awesome rocker kind of song.
I thought Aquil had a good performance, but for me, like after when he
finished, do you know the original Grenade?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I compared it to, and I said I like the original better.
Right.
And that was my big problem, right with that. I was like, I like the original better. Because it just didn't. There was something missing in his performance for me.
To me, it was his range. Like Bruno Mars has this incredible range, and he uses it. And Aquil hit one little falsetto high note, and other than that, he stayed in this very small range.
Right.
And I think that hurt him.
Yeah, and then Sylvia came on, and I loved her performance. And especially because that's such a hard song to sing live. And Christina said
it over and over.
Yeah, and then to nail it for a hard song, you're in.
Yeah. I would have favored, just looking at it on paper, I would have favored Aquil for sure. I wasn't crazy about Sylvia, but after I saw these two battle, I was like, this is no contest at all. Sylvia nailed this.
Right.
And Christina agreed. So that is the end of Team Christina. She ended up with a fair mix. She's got 3 girls and 2 guys. Oh, no. That's right. It ended up with Dez being the lucky guy on a team of girls.
Which they mentioned later at some point.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I was like, yeah, you are so lucky.
But I mean, it's Team Christina. She favors women anyway.
Right.
We could have known that.
Yeah.
So that leaves it with Team Blake. I have a feeling that they did Team Blake last because for you, probably because he won last year. That's what my thought was.
All right.
But I will point out it was very obvious this time that they showed it to us in the order that it happened, because we saw the contestants leave and we saw the ones backstage watching it on TV, and the group kept shrinking. There was no way they could have, messed with that footage.
Yeah, the only thing that they may have done was did the teams in a different order when they did them.
I thought of that, but yeah, we don't know, I guess.
But hey, you know what? I'm happy. I got the result I wanted to end the show.
Okay, so Team Blake, the first battle was between Gracia Harrison and Liz Davis. I was thrilled that these two were going first, because these were the two that I was not looking forward to the most.
Right, and this especially for Team Blake, when he went to start picking, I got more and more nervous every time.
Because you knew we were waiting for Cassidy.
Yeah, and I knew, I was like, there were some people I did not want her to get put up against, because I really like them too.
Yeah.
So I would like cringe when he would pick, and then he picked Gracia Harrison and Liz Davis. I was like, good, and I was like, oh, she could have like crushed either one of them.
I'm very glad he decided that he wanted to put the country singers against each other and just take one. I think that was smart of him.
Yeah, and I like that too.
He talked about his strategy being to diversify his team and have different types of singers. And I think in the end, he definitely ended up with that. He wasn't joking.
Yeah, I think he got 5 different ones.
So,
completely.
Gracia sang I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which is an Aerosmith song, and she kind of countrified it. And Liz sang Gunpowder and Lead, which I think is the second Miranda Lambert song that's been featured in this season.
Which she sang the other one.
Oh, that was her too.
Yeah, that was her in Battles, if I'm not mistaken.
She just loves Miranda Lambert. And you know what? After hearing these 2 songs, I think I really like Miranda Lambert too. It's that balance between like rock and country that I do really appreciate. And damn it, she did a really good job.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how she sang that song.
If she's the country artist that's making it to live voting, I'm fine with that.
Right.
And she was. Gracia just didn't do it.
The song choice for Gracia wasn't good. It's such a good song.
Yeah.
And and then what was it, Armageddon?
Right.
And that's what goes through your mind with that song for me anyway. And I'm like looking at it and I'm putting her to that. I'm like, no.
Maybe if she had tried to, even if she had made it country, if she'd still tried to match the power of it, but she didn't. She kind of scaled it back.
And it hurt her.
Yeah. So I think Blake really wanted her to shine as a country artist. She didn't really take the opportunity, and Liz kicked her butt.
Yep, no more yodeling.
What if she had pulled out the yodel during that song?
I think I would have turned off the TV.
Or at least muted it. Okay, so the second battle was between definitely my least favorite person still in the competition, Rudy Paris. Sorry, Rudy, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but why did you make it this far? And Terry McDermott, who is the Irish rocker. Scottish. Thank you, consult in the background.
I heard it that time.
You're right. McDermott? Yes, you're right.
Of course she's right. That's how it works, remember?
Yeah, I mean, I'll fix it in editing if she's not right. Rudy picked the song Forever by Chris Brown, and we've already mentioned that Chris Brown picks for this competition do not turn out well for the contestants. And Terry McDermott did the best possible thing he could have and picked Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney.
And I was amazed right from the beginning.
Okay, I already said Deborah was my favorite person. This is the only one that we actually went back and watched again.
Yeah, I did too.
Really?
Yeah, I watched this performance again and one other, which, duh.
Okay, I know.
I don't know why I watched that one again.
But yeah, he came out to sing this song, and Adam turned to Christina and goes, I love this song. I guess it was CeeLo, but he turned to his left and said, I love this song.
Yeah, and it was so good, and it just blew me away right from the beginning.
He basically, because they're doing this like 60-second arrangement, he did like the first part of the song, and then he skipped to the end, and it was just the best possible arrangement he could have done. He did all of the parts to show off what he could do, like the really powerful singing, the really high, like I can get way up there too, Christina.
Yep.
And man, I'm really excited to see what he does in live battles.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And there was one thing in particular that, because when I made my notes, because I did it in the order that they sang. So with Rudy, I said, oh, he sounded like an okay performance, and that's all I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christina nailed it for me. I didn't know how to digest it. I'm like, that's it. I had no idea what to do with Rudy's performance. So I was like,
it was there. It happened.
I was like, I had no idea, like, even where to put him. So I was like, yeah, go away.
So I really like Terry. I'm happy to see him continue. Every time he opens his voice, I'm impressed again. I'm like, oh, that's right. This guy just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So that's great. I'm excited. The next battle was between Colin
McLaughlin. I'll help you out. I got this.
and Michaela Page. Michaela was one of the steals, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Consult's name. Colin was. Colin was one of the steals. Colin was the one steal that I was scratching my head because he sang that Sublime song, and the other guy sang so much better than him. And
we're all like, "Wait, you stole him?"
Yeah, I thought that one was kind of a waste. There were so many good people that went home. Nellie's Echo.
Yep.
So Colin sang Break Even, which is a great song by The Script. The first time I ever heard that song was at a taping of The Daily Show.
Oh, that's cool.
I hadn't heard it before, and during a commercial break, they play music, and that song came on, and I was like, this is a great song. And then later it like hit Top 40 radio, and I was like, oh, they're popular, and I just didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
And Michaela sang Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar.
Yep.
And I think that was the correct decision for her, even though I would never have picked Colin against just about anyone he went up against.
Right. And Colin, I thought he did all right. I didn't like the pitch in his high notes that he hit with that, but with Michaela, I was just like, that it sounded safe for a little while, and then it just, but there were parts, and the one part, that last note she hit was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was so happy she won. And that's the problem I'm having, was that there's a lot of people, like, for her, like, there's people in particular I want for that team to win, and I'm looking at this now going, there's some really good people in here I really like, but we'll get there.
Fourth battle was between Julio Cesar Castillo and Marissa Ann. Marissa Ann is the youngest person in the competition. And Julio sang
Somebody to Love by Justin Bieber. Big X, you lose.
There we go.
I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Don't even care.
And Marissa Ann sang Lady Marmalade, which is an old song by, I don't even know who it's by the girl group La Belle. But, of course, most people know the newer version that was covered by a superstar team of Christina, Lil' Kim, Maya, and Pink, along with Missy Elliott, right?
That's why I know the song. I'm like, listen to the song. I had the title. I was like, I don't know this song. And then she sang in rehearsals, like, I do know this song.
I remember studying the music video for that song in high school. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I'm curious now. You should have told me that.
It's a sexy music video. That's all. You should look it up.
Okay.
And anyway, again, on paper, I'm like, well, this one's Marissa Ann's, right?
Right. That's what I did. I thought she did great. I'm like, oh yeah, she's gonna win this and that. And then I'm like, hands down, Marissa Ann. And then Blake chose Julio, and I went, boo.
The whole way through it, I was like, well, Julio was fine. And then she sang, and I was like, well, this is obvious, of course. Marissa Ann.
And then he gave this half reason for why he didn't pick Marissa Ann, because his steals have to do certain things for him to keep them. I'm like, really? Like, she was obviously better. He
said that he had more of a history with Julio, and that was the reason.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
I don't, against the people that with the people he's going up against, I don't think Julio stands much of a chance.
No way.
And that's too bad for him, because he could have been let down by Blake and felt like, well, Blake had to make the decision to choose her over me because she was crazy good, I mean, or getting voted off by America pretty early, which I'm pretty sure is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm fairly positive that's what's going to happen.
So that was it, right? That was the end of the show?
Oh, of course. You're right, because my nerves weren't like breaking at this point when our team was announced and I knew what was going to happen next.
All right, so you go ahead. Talk about it.
Okay, so first up was Cassidy Pope versus Susanna Schofel. And for me personally, I was so happy that this was the last performance of the knockout rounds.
Right. I mean, this is like the headline event.
Yeah, and for me, this is perfect. The whole thing built up to this for me. Sean had his glory back in the last hour.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn. And
I was looking forward to this just because I knew how excited you were going to be.
Yeah, and I got more and more excited and nervous for why the pairings were going until I knew who the pairing was. And she decided to sing Payphone by Maroon 5, which I love that band. I love the lead singer. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then she sang it. And I was just like, yes.
Yeah, she did some really interesting things with that I bet Adam was like, I should make a note of that.
Yeah, I think he really liked it too. And I was thrilled with her performance. And then I even wrote in my comments, I was like, do I really need to comment on the performance? ? I mean, really? Do I? And then Susanna came on, and Susanna sang Could You Be Loved by Bob Marley. And I thought it was a good performance, but I felt like it was the same soft feel, singing, not changing pitch much thing through the whole song.
Yeah, I've liked Susanna through the competition. I have really liked her, and I was kind of worried seeing her go up against Cassidy. But then when she picked this song, I'm going to look back at Siobhan and Deborah. I think this was the wrong song.
Oh, it absolutely was. And I think they said that to her.
I don't know what she was... I want to know if the contestants are aware of what the other contestant is picking.
They don't even know who they're against until it's named.
Wait, what?
They don't know who they're competing against until it's called right then.
They already have their song rehearsed and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The song, they sing it, and then they're all on stage, and they're like, all right, I'm going to pick her against her. The coaches know.
Okay. Why didn't I realize that?
Yeah, because they all wear the same clothes before and after, and they're wearing different stuff when their rehearsals come up and everything. And...
Duh. I'm just stupid. I watch TV good. So, okay, well, I guess, clearly they have no idea what they're going up against. I don't know why I was confused about that. But
still, like, that song choice.
Still, exactly.
Yeah,
she should not have done this.
I think maybe she could have beat Gracia, or she could have beat Gracia or Rudy with that, but that's probably maybe Colin.
I don't think
about it.
I feel like this is your last chance before live rounds. This is the last thing you have to get through with. Maybe pick something that you know is in your wheelhouse that you're really going to be able to do. And like I compared her to Stevie Nicks before because she had some Stevie Nicks quality about her voice, and she decided not to highlight that at all.
Right. She went to like a total different route, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And she paid for it. Darn, what a shame.
Yeah, I know. You're real upset, right?
Oh, bummer. Okay, I wasn't sitting here going, yes, 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 the whole time.
I sent you an interview with Cassidy a couple days ago. Did you look at it?
Oh, I did.
I noticed when I got to the bottom of it that she really pimped the knockout rounds, and it wasn't in a way that was just like self-promotion. It seemed like she was really excited for you to see them, and I just got this feeling like I think she won. Like, I just felt like the way that she was talking about it gave the indication that she had won.
Yeah, I read it after, and I felt that way too after reading. I was like, oh yeah, she definitely was kind of hinting that she won at it. What I found interesting was the point that was the thing you sent me about was the fact that there were no steals available when she sang.
Right.
And I was like, you're so right. We were right.
That highlighted that we were correct about the out-of-orderness of the battle rounds, because they ended with a steal, and obviously they did not actually end that way, because when Cassidy was up, the steals were all gone.
Yep.
And she knew it going into it. I guess it was public information to the other contestants.
Yeah.
So, phew, we covered 4 hours of The Voice in nearly an hour.
Not bad.
I'm hungry.
Me too. Let's go get pizza. What?
Make sure you check back next week when we will be covering the very first live voting rounds of The Voice for this season. Follow us on Twitter at Sean B. Martin and at KARR2001. They will be linked in the info. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys. Thanks for watching and listening.